Welcome to A Drop of Happy, the podcast arm to my blog, lightv.com, where we focus on carefree, stress well, light and lively living while loving and reviewing entertainment art tidbits. And I also bring stress management tips as well as kind of just going over some of the articles and research and things like that kind of catch my interest, and also the books, fiction, nonfiction, all of that stuff. So I wanted to touch on this article from Vessel. Say goodbye. No, it's if you want a more joyful life, say goodbye to these 10 behaviors. So a couple of weeks, Vessel put out an article about 10 behaviors a person has to get rid of to be more joyful. Now, I did feel kind of attacked by some of them, like some of the suggestions, but overall, they're really good, really practical suggestions that you probably should try removing from your life, and will go a long way to not only help you lead a joyful life, but help you lead a better stress managed life. And with the new year fast approaching, right? Now might be a good time to kind of review and evaluate what you got going on in your life, and what you need to leave in 2023, right? Okay, I'm just going to do it real quick, the basic, and then we're going to get into it. So 1 through 10, don't harbor negativity. Don't indulge in self-doubt. Don't cling to past failures. Don't entertain toxic relationships. Don't procrastinate on goals. I'm trying so hard not to make sidebar comments. 6, don't ignore your health. 7, don't shy away from self-improvement. 8, don't resist change. 9, don't compare yourself to others. 10, don't neglect your passions. Woo, child. Like, I think I could do a full series on this called The Joyful Don'ts, because all of these are like, it's like stress management in one thing. Stress management in one article. Stress management in 10, because all of these would go a long way and are so on point. I have the link to the entire article so you can go ahead and read it yourself, but we're going to get into it. We're going to get into what this article is saying. So, number 1, don't harbor negativity, right? All right. People who lead a more joyful life understand the importance of saying goodbye to negativity. They know that negativity is just a mental trap. It's an energy-draining mindset that they consciously choose to avoid. These individuals aren't necessarily overly pessimistic or naive. They just choose to focus on positive aspects and possibilities rather than dwelling on negatives. Engaging in positive self-talk, maintaining a gratitude journal, and surrounding themselves with positive influences are some ways they keep negativity at bay. The positivity helps them maintain a balanced emotional state, reduce stress, and enhances their overall well-being, according to psychologists. They need to cultivate positivity so that without a regular dose of positive thinking, they can actually become anxious, have mood swings, face sleep disturbances, and lack concentration. Okay, so let's pause. I mean, yeah, all of that, but like, how do we do that? If you are an overly pessimistic or always look on the, how do you cultivate positivity? Can we talk about that? Definitely, yeah, I'm huge on journaling, just journaling in general. But sometimes I do find myself like, sometimes I only journal when I really need to I'm in an emotional state and I need to get some things out. So I did start an actual gratitude journal and try to jot down something that I'm grateful for. I'm not going to say every day, but definitely on at least a weekly basis. But everything they say, also doing positive self-talk. Like if you, sometimes the first thing, it starts with awareness. Like one of the things that is going to be thematic throughout this is all the things that you're talking, all the things that this article is talking about, all the 10 don'ts really, really relies on a do, which is being aware of yourself, your emotions, where you stand. Not only being aware, but being willing to do that assessment and being willing to face those potential shortcomings that you may have. Because without doing that, it's going to be pointless. You're not going to be able to get into all this because you're not going to think that there's a problem. So, yes, positive self-talk, maintaining a gratitude journal, or just a journal. We could just start with a journal. You could just start small, and surrounding yourself with positive influences. And yes, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that really can make you feel discouraged, but you have to also take an active part in protecting your well-being, protecting your psyche, and engaging in things that you care about that do not drain you as well. It's very important, because if you're drained, if you're debilitated, if you can't, then you will be no help to anybody. So don't harbor negativity. Huge. All right, let's hop back into it. The second one, don't indulge in self-doubt. And it kind of goes hand in hand with don't harbor negativity, right? Because sometimes that negativity fuels the self-doubt, or sometimes the self-doubt fuels the negativity. Like it's a sick cycle. That's not funny. I laugh at very inappropriate things. That's not, but it is. It's a sick cycle. So, getting into the article, don't indulge in self-doubt. Another habit to ditch to live a more joyful life is to make a conscious effort to eliminate self-doubt. People who do this understand that self-doubt is a confidence killer, a hindrance to their potential and progress. It's not that they're fearless or devoid of insecurities. They simply choose not to let those insecurities overpower their self-belief and determination. What does this really mean? It means taking steps like practicing mindfulness, setting realistic goals, acknowledging their achievements, seeking constructive criticism. Their strong sense of self promotes their mental well-being, boosts their performance, and strengthens their resilience, according to mental health professionals. We're going to pause. Okay. So, again, for me, we could have probably collapsed 1 and 2 together. But this is more with yourself. This is more with the confidence and how you feel about yourself. And sometimes that debilitating lack of confidence, really lack of self-esteem, when you think about indulging in self-doubt, it's kind of feeding your lack of self-esteem, and you kind of do opposite. They say practice mindfulness, but what does that mean, right? Practicing mindfulness, again, the main thing is, are you aware of yourself? Are you aware that you have these self-doubts? And if you are, like, are you just sitting in the pocket and letting it grow, or are you actively taking measures to combat that? So practicing mindfulness helps that, because when you fall into that, if you're being more mindful about it, you'll realize it and you'll redirect yourself from doing that. It doesn't say doing the positive self-talk, but that's definitely key here as well. And then setting realistic goals, small goals, right? Not only realistic, but small goals, so that, micro goals, so that you can have a boost in having the sense of achievement, which is super, super important. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get to number 3 per the article. Don't cling to past failures. So far, these don'ts are very interchangeable. So far, these don'ts are very intertwined. Okay. Don't cling to past failures. People who lead a more joyful life have also learned the art of letting go of past failures. They recognize that holding on to past mistakes is like carrying a heavy backpack. It weighs them down and prevents them from moving forward. This doesn't mean being dismissive of their past. It means being able to use your past experiences as stepping stones to learn and grow rather than allowing them to become stumbling blocks. So, when you start analyzing your mistakes, seeking lessons from them, forgiving yourself, and focusing on present actions, you are able to release their grip on your past failures. In other words, you're able to free yourself from past mistakes, which in turn makes room for the future. This approach can help you maintain a healthier perspective, boost your self-esteem, foster personal growth, and even enhance your problem-solving skills. There's not much more I need to say about that. It's on point. But again, all three, 1, 2, and 3, are like interwoven to each other, to me, because of course clinging to your past failures, it's going to make you feel some kind of way. It's going to make you have self-doubt. It's going to cause you to harbor a negativity, and it's almost like you have to accept that this situation has happened, but more than that, what can you learn from it, right? What can you learn from it to turn it into something that can be used to propel you forward? All right, number 4 from the article. This is so good. This one. Because so many people. All right, focus, Wanda, focus. Don't entertain toxic relationships. Those who lead a more joyful life make it a point to distance themselves from toxic relationships. They realize that such relationships are like harmful weeds. They drain energy, stunt growth, and suffocate positivity. Of course, this doesn't mean being a loner or being antisocial. It's simply prioritizing quality over quantity when it comes to relationships and nurturing healthier connections that foster mutual respect, understanding, and growth. More so, when you set boundaries, express your feelings honestly, focus on self-care, and spend time with supportive and uplifting people, you are able to stay clear of toxic relationships. And when you do this, you don't only appreciate, but also acknowledge the need to have such supportive networks. Because, baby, let's pause. A toxic relationship will take you down. A toxic relationship will just ruin your whole day. A toxic relationship will leave you, like it says, stunted. A toxic relationship will take energy away from the things that you should be doing, the things that you feel like you should be getting into. A toxic relationship will jack all those up because they're like energy suckers, vampires, all that stuff. Like it's and then sometimes you can't completely cut yourself off from a toxic relationship, but you can know how to deal with them, and you can know how to keep your distance, and you can know how to not get involved in their mess, or just not let their mess bother you. But it's tough if sometimes the person who is toxic does need to be cut off completely, right? Because they don't know boundaries. They don't respect your boundaries. And it's so much. But number 4, if you don't do anything, you do that one. All right. Let's get into number 5. Don't procrastinate on their goals. Before I read the little blurb, this right here, because procrastination is a huge problem for me in this right here, baby. All right. Don't procrastinate on their goals. People who lead a more joyful life actively avoid procrastination when it comes to their goals. They understand that procrastination is like a pause button. It halts their progress and keeps them from achieving what they desire. Don't get me wrong. They're not necessarily workaholics or perfectionists. They simply believe in the power of consistent action and gratification that comes with achieving their goals. This means breaking down larger tasks into manageable chunks, setting realistic deadlines, maintaining a structured routine, and rewarding yourself upon completion. Pause. Mind your business. Mind your business, number 5. Like, why are you in my business and telling me how to do things? Like, I know. Mind your business. That's all I got to say. Because, baby, I feel like the way I'm always talking about getting my life together, because I feel like I always got to get my life together. The way that my life would be so snatched and so together and so like just thebomb.com, so all of that, if I did not have a major problem with procrastination. That's it. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. And we are at 6, which is a huge one, especially when we're talking about stress management, because don't ignore their health. If you want to lead a more joyful life, make sure to give paramount importance to your health and well-being. Understand that ignoring your health is like neglecting the foundations of a building. It weakens your overall well-being and impacts your quality of life. The more you neglect it, the more prone it is to crumble. And honestly, being healthy is a lot easier than you think. It is not really rocket science. It's not intense exercise and strict diets. Regular exercise, a balanced nutrition diet, adequate sleep, regular health checkups, and stress management techniques are some of the ways to prioritize your health. This holistic approach to health can boost your physical stamina, enhance mental clarity, foster emotional stability, and even contribute to longevity. Pause. Okay. I'm feeling this article everything wise, but baby, no, it is rocket science. It may not be rocket science when you just write it down, but to actually do it, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. To actually do it, if it was easy, you think the number one killer would be heart disease? Where it's like preventable, stroke, heart disease. You think that would be cardiovascular disease? You think that would be the... Come on now. This part, I feel like it's a little dismissive of the difficulties, but at the same time, it's not lying. Because it's not. It is some basic steps. It's just, I don't know. We have a malfunction. We want to do what we want to do. We want to do what we want to do. And then when it don't work out, we want to be like, okay, give me that pill. Even though we cry against Big Pharma, blah, blah, blah. But we want the pill. We want to do what we want to do. That's what it is at the end of the day. It takes some work. And believe me, I'm talking about myself as well. It takes a lot of work. So, but again, prioritizing our health, especially taking part in preventative medicine, stress management activities, knowing yourself, mindfulness, so all that is a whole lot easier than being a slave to the healthcare system and being a slave to your ailments. It's where you can have more control over what you got going on in your life. And you're not forced to get that prescription every month. You're not forced that you got to follow up on these doctor's appointments. Like, ain't gonna lie, it's a lot. So yes, conceptually, it's not rocket science. Conceptually, it's simple. But in reality, baby, it's tough. It's tough because we want to do what we want to do. And I'm right there with y'all. I want to do what I want to do. Which is, why I'm a whole lot more pounds heavier than I should be. Because I want to do what I want to do. I want to eat what I want to eat all the time. Because I'm a foodie. So, it's again, conceptually, yeah, it's not rocket science. But in reality, it's a little tough. But I feel like I can do it, and I feel like you guys can do it. 7, don't shy away from self-improvement. People who lead a more joyful life continuously engage in self-improvement. They realize that shying away from self-improvement is like refusing to evolve. It stunts their personal growth and keeps them from reaching their full potential. So, if you want to start your self-improvement journey, here are some suggestions on how you can do that. Read self-help books, attend workshops or seminars, seek feedback for improvement, set personal development goals. This is important because when you strive for self-improvement, you are able to increase your self-esteem, motivation, and further your progress towards a healthier lifestyle. Pause. What did I say? All of these are intertwined, interwoven, work together. Like, hello. Y'all can't see me, but I'm like waving my arms. Oh, I feel like I should have probably done a video of this so y'all can see my antics. But hello. And honestly, it's not enough to just read the self-help books. Like, you have to apply what you feel is beneficial, what you feel like you're getting out of those self-help books. You have to apply them. So yeah, read them, attend the workshops, what have you. Do online stuff, but then figure out how you're going to apply them in your life. So again, like a baseline of awareness, of self-awareness, right? You're going to have to do an assessment of yourself and be willing to be honest with yourself, because if you're not willing to be honest with yourself, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be stuck in the same place, and all this is not going to matter. 8, don't resist change. Ooh, okay, focus, Wanda, focus. That's right. Instead of seeing change as something to be scared of, choose to step forth boldly and embrace it. That's what people who lead more joyful life do. They understand that resisting change is like swimming against the current. It exhausts them and keeps them stuck in one spot. To do that, stay open-minded, step out of your comfort zone, and trust in your ability to adapt new situations, because believe me, you are perfectly capable of doing that. Pause. So one of the things that's good for your brain is doing new things, right? Just being, think of, like, life is about progression, and stuff's going to change whether you like it or not. Period. Point blank. It's changing, and you will expel more energy just trying not to. Now, I'm not saying, like, sometimes something could be presented to you and you have to figure out, okay, how can I do this? How can I incorporate this? What needs to be done? What needs to fall away in order to make this happen? But you have to do that. You have to ask yourself those questions in order to move forward, because being resistant to change is being stagnant, is being right there. I'm telling you, these are so good because they definitely play on one another. 9, don't compare yourself to others. To lead a more joyful life also means to steer clear of comparing yourself to others. You see, comparisons are like mirages. They distort reality and breed dissatisfaction. There's no point in comparing yourself to distorted reality, is there? The only point of comparison you should be making is that between you and the version of you yesterday. Don't get me wrong. Pause. I love that. I love this whole sentence. This whole part is so good. Like, there's no point in comparing yourself to a distorted reality, because you don't know what their reality is. What you comparing yourself to? That's so good. And then the only point of comparison you should be making is between you and the version you were yesterday. Because it goes back to, like, these literally piggyback off each other. And if that was the intention, then you did that. 10, don't neglect your passions. Pause. I have to pause on this because this is one thing that I've been saying forever. Like, and again, for me, that ties into your creativity. That ties into it's right there with that. So don't neglect your passions, because that, it gives you a boost. It gives you joy. It gives you a sense of just, yeah, you like that? That was something. That second one wasn't that great, but the first one was almost melodic. But anyway, you'll have that epiphany, that moment. All right, so let's go back. Don't neglect your passions. Finally, make time for your passions. People who lead a more joyful life understand that neglecting passions dampens the spirit and deprives them of joy. These people are not necessarily artists or hobbyists. These people are not necessarily artists or hobbyists. They simply believe in the rejuvenating power of pursuing what ignites their soul. Setting aside dedicated time, exploring new hobbies, sharing their passion with others, and integrating their interests into their daily routine are some of the ways they keep the passion alive. Pause. Facts on facts on facts on facts on facts. I really don't have... Like, what do you say to, what else do you say to that? Facts on facts on facts on facts. On point, accurate. And again, it goes to doing new things. Your brain thrives on learning to do new things, new language, whatever it is. Put yourself out there and ignite your passions. Don't neglect your passions. Ignite your passions. When I tell you these are, these are so good. These are the joyful don'ts. These are really good. And putting, again, they build on each other. So I will have the link to the article, and you could kind of take a look at yourself, but putting it all together is what's going to help you kind of just be the better you, be the better version that you want, or just get through a day, get through a month, just get through life, like having passions, having goals, and not being stagnant, because you don't want to, because sedentary, stagnant, just in that same spot, that does no one any justice. Again, I'm Wanda Toby. This is A Drop of Happy, where we focus on carefree, stressful, light and lively living while loving and reviewing entertainment, art tidbits. Please take a time to spread the word if you really enjoyed this or found it helpful. And remember to live light and stress well.